Gardening is supposed to be relaxing. That's what everyone says, and maybe it is, for about 20 minutes. Then your back starts complaining. Your knees are done. You've been pulling the same weeds for the third weekend in a row, and the garden still doesn't look the way you imagined it. Here's the thing nobody tells you. Most of that work is completely unnecessary. The high-maintenance plants, the annuals you replace every year, the constant pruning and deadheading, none of that is required for a beautiful garden. It's just what most people default to because nobody showed them a better way. These 13 perennials are the better way. You plant them once, they come back every year on their own, and most of them actually take care of themselves. No babysitting, no guilt when you skip a weekend, no starting over next spring. I've organized them into 3 groups, so you can pick exactly what your garden needs. Group 1. 4 plants that thrive in poor, difficult soil. Group 2. 4 plants that spread and crowd out weeds on their own. Group 3. 5 plants that need no pruning, no cutting back, and no attention once they're established. Let's start with Group 1. Most gardening advice assumes you have decent soil, but if you're dealing with clay that turns to concrete in summer, sandy ground that drains too fast, or rocky patches where nothing seems to take hold, these 4 plants were practically designed for your situation. Plant number 1. Rudbeckia, Black-Eyed Susan. This plant has survived roadsides and neglected fields for centuries, which tells you everything you need to know about its soil requirements. It doesn't need amended, fertilized, or carefully prepared ground. It just needs to be planted and left alone. Golden yellow flowers peak in July and August. It self-seeds, spreads gradually, and comes back stronger every year. Hardy in zones 3 through 9. Plant number 2, Echinacea. Its deep taproot system goes searching for water and nutrients far below the surface, which is exactly why it shrugs off poor soil conditions that would kill most other plants. Once established, which takes 1 season, it genuinely doesn't need you. Blooms all summer, feeds pollinators, feeds birds through winter with its seed heads. Hardy in zones 3 through 9. Plant number 3, Yarrow. This one actually performs better in poor soil than in rich soil, which sounds counterintuitive until you understand that in nutrient-rich ground it gets floppy and falls over. In sandy, rocky, or low-fertility soil, it stays compact and upright. Flat-topped flower clusters in yellow, white, pink, or red. Blooms late spring through midsummer and often reblooms. Drought tolerant. Hardy in zones 3 through 9. The worse your soil, the better yarrow behaves. Plant number 4. Sedum stonecrop, the plant that grows in gravel. Literally, the succulent leaves store water so efficiently that sedum thrives in conditions where almost nothing else survives. Poor drainage, thin soil, full sun on a slope. It blooms late summer through fall, covering that August to October gap beautifully. Hardy in zones 3 through 9. If your soil is genuinely terrible, this is your starting point. Weeding is probably the most exhausting part of any garden. These 4 plants solve that problem by spreading into dense colonies that leave no room for weeds to get a foothold. You're not just adding flowers, you're building a living weed barrier that gets stronger every year. Plant number 5, Daylily. Over 2 to 3 seasons, a single daylily clump expands into a dense mass of strap-like foliage that smothers everything underneath it. Weeds can't compete. They bloom in sequence for weeks, and they tolerate drought, poor soil, and general neglect. Hardy in zones 3 through 9. Plant them close together initially and let them do the work. Plant number 6, catmint. Its low, sprawling growth habit covers ground quickly and efficiently. 2 full bloom rounds of lavender blue flowers per season. But what makes it a weed fighter is how densely it grows at ground level. Nothing gets through a well-established catmint border. Hardy in zones 3 through 8. Deer-resistant, drought-tolerant, and beautiful. Plant number 7. Creeping phlox. In April and May, this plant covers the ground in a carpet of flowers, pink, purple, white, or magenta, so dense you can barely see the foliage underneath. After it blooms, the evergreen mat stays in place all year and prevents weed growth on slopes, borders, and rocky areas. Hardy in zones 3 through 9. One of the most effective and most beautiful ground covers on this list.
Plant number 8. Liriope, lily turf. The go-to ground cover for shady spots where grass refuses to grow and weeds constantly take over. Dense clumps of grass-like foliage that stay green most of the year, with purple flower spikes in late summer. Hardy in zones 5 through 10. For problem areas under trees or along shaded walls, nothing outperforms it. If your back is already thanking you for watching this, subscribe. New videos go up every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, all about plants that work harder than you do. Now, Group 3. 5 plants that genuinely never need pruning. Pruning and deadheading are the garden chores most people dread. These 5 plants handle themselves. They don't need cutting back to perform. They just bloom, finish, and reset on their own, year after year. Plant number 9. Baptisia false indigo. Blue-purple flower spikes in late spring, attractive blue-green foliage all season, decorative seed pods in fall. And through all of it, no pruning required. It takes 2 to 3 years to establish fully, but once it does, it becomes one of the most structural and self-sufficient plants in the garden. Hardy in zones 3 through 9. Plant number 10. Hellebore, the Lenten rose. Evergreen foliage keeps the container looking attractive year-round and naturally suppresses weeds. It blooms in late winter and early spring. No deadheading needed, no cutting back. Hardy in zones 4 through 9. One note, all parts of this plant are toxic to dogs and cats, so keep that in mind when choosing placement. Plant number 11. Agastache, hummingbird mint. The spent flower spikes dry attractively in place and don't need to be removed. Blooms midsummer through fall with fragrant spikes in orange, coral, or purple. Hummingbirds are completely drawn to it. Hardy in zones 5 through 10. No pruning, no deadheading, nothing required beyond the initial planting. Plant number 12. Rudbeckia goldsturm. It blooms August through October, and the dried seed heads that remain through winter attract goldfinches and other seed-eating birds. No deadheading needed. It dies back on its own in winter and emerges clean in spring. Hardy in zones 3 through 9. One of the most genuinely self-maintaining perennials available. Plant number 13. Coreopsis tickseed. Most flowering perennials perform better with regular deadheading. Coreopsis is one of the few that blooms continuously from May through September without any deadheading at all. 3 to 4 months of non-stop yellow flowers with zero intervention. Hardy in zones 3 through 9. If there's one plant on this entire list that most completely earns the phrase, "plant it and forget it," this is it. 13 plants, 3 groups, all of them coming back every year on their own, handling their own soil, crowding out weeds, or simply never asking to be pruned. Before you go, There's one thing you can do that makes all of these plants perform even better, and it cuts your remaining garden work roughly in half. It's mulch. A 2 to 3 inch layer of organic mulch around your perennials does 3 things at once. It keeps moisture in the soil so you water less. It suppresses the weed seeds that do try to germinate, and it regulates soil temperature so your plants establish faster in spring. Apply it once in spring and it works all year. If this changed how you think about gardening, subscribe. And next up is the video on the longest blooming perennials, so your garden has colour from spring all the way to the first frost. It's right there.